context of the epistle to Corinth, what Paul is saying to the church at Corinth, he is identifying the kind of fornication that the church at Corinth was allowing in their midst as leaven. Yeshua acknowledged Israel's problem was doctrine. Israel's problem was doctrine. It was hypocrisy. It was this religious entertainment, this religious performance, the appearance of piety, the appearance of being righteous with what they were wearing, how they would pray and speak in the marketplace, when on the inside they were full of dead men's bones. That's Israel's problem, the religious establishment. It was doctrine. It was leaven that was blinding them. But in the church at Corinth, they were dealing with fornication. One of the issues was fornication. And what Paul is saying to the people is, if you don't address this issue, just like a little leaven will leaven the whole lump, you will be compromised yourself if you don't put this individual out. So now, as the definitions of leaven broadens, we actually get a better understanding of what it means. Leaven incorporates the actions of the old, defiled, sinful nature of man. And you can look at it as an individual level. What was my leaven as the old man? When I was a servant of sin, a servant of unrighteousness, when I was bound, what was the kind of leaven that I allowed to reign in my flesh? It could be doctrine. It could be hypocrisy, but in this case, it's fornication, malice, wickedness, extortion, covetousness. That's the leaven of the old man. But we are given the instruction to purge out the old leaven. So if I see leaven in you, I'm given the instruction to purge it out. Purge out the old leaven and be a new lump. For Messiah, our Passover, was sacrificed for us. I don't therefore have to just purge out the leaven in me. If I know that there is leaven in the midst of an assembly I am a part of, I have to go through the process to purge it out from you. That may be to have a conversation and carry the burden of your sin to support you through this process of overcoming it. Or it might be you have to be put out because a little leaven leaveneth the whole lump. It carries on. Therefore, in verse 8, let us keep the feast, not with old leaven, neither with the leaven of malice and wickedness, but with the unleavened bread of sincerity and truth. Yesterday, the message which we spoke and I taught on was based upon Yeshua Messiah going up and teaching at the feast in the temple. The Bible says when Yeshua stood up to preach, the religious leaders, the Jews, sent officers to go and take him. He said, I've done one work and you marvel. In John chapter 5, the work that he did is he healed a man on the Sabbath day and they persecuted him and wanted him dead. There are people in the Bible keeping the feast all the while filled with this old leaven. Malice, wickedness. Paul is saying, if you're going to keep the feast, keep it unleavened. Therefore, let us keep the feast, not with the old leaven, neither with the leaven of malice and wickedness. Otherwise, brothers and sisters, you may keep the law of Jehovah, all the while you are keeping the law of sin and death. That is the key, brothers and sisters, to understand the distinction between the law and grace, the law and favor. Because these people, they observe the Sabbath day, they observe the feast, they circumcise their children on the 8th day. They were doing all of this stuff. The Bible says they were tithing, they were giving offerings, so on and so forth. But they was a wicked and adulterous people. They kept the law of the Most High to a certain degree, all the while they were filled with the old leaven. Paul makes the distinction. If you're going to keep the law, keep it. Keep the feast, not with the old leaven. And it carries on, but with the unleavened bread of sincerity and truth.